Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start by giving all praises, glory, and honor, which is due unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachakadash. Double honors as always to the apostles, elders, a great Muslim of all well, and salutations and shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel of Yahweh Shai. Okay, and pretty much just wanted to just touch on this quickly. Okay, it says HSBC to shut 114 banks in 2023. Okay, and pretty much HSBC is one of the big banks over here in the UK. I know they've got some global things going on as well. And what you'll find is a lot of these retail banks, okay, over here in the UK, you got Lloyds Bank, you got Barclays, you got Nationwide, you've got Halifax, NatWest, just a couple of the major retail banks, HSBC being one of them. And what you're noticing is that all of them are closing these branches, okay? Especially after the pandemic. They were already closing branches from before, but after the pandemic now what they're doing is they're speeding up the process because you got more and more staff working from home and you got less need for the people to go into the branch because most of the issues in the branch are dealt with what? The transaction of cash, okay? But what's happening is that this society, okay, is getting ready for a change, man, all right? They call it the fourth industrial revolution, a big change. And cash pretty much has no part of that change, okay? Cash is going to be, they call it a cash society where they get rid of cash and everything is dealt with in digital, which is why the central banks, okay, deal with what? They're talking about promoting, creating and running their own digital currencies, okay? So what does that remind us of? It reminds us of what? The prophecy that it's all leading up to, which is in Revelation 13 and 16. And we do a lot of videos, starting with the apostles, elders, a great Muslim on down. We do a lot of videos on this topic because this is the time that we're in. Okay, this is the major prophecy that we're watching for. You got all these distractions. You got the World Cup. You got different things in the media. You got things going on with Ye and all that. Okay, which, it all highlights the truth. This is all part of the Lord highlighting, the truth. Okay. But ultimately, one of the things that they're looking to get to do is push the C-hip on the people, man. All right. Now let's read the prophecy, Revelation 13 and 16. And he calls off all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, which that pretty much covers everyone, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So pretty much, without this device, you're not going to be able to buy or sell. And the banks are tied into this. Why? Because the people who control the society, the elites of Esau, also known as what? The international banking elite. All right? That own all these central banks, which dish out what they dish out and lend out money to the retail banks. Okay? Your everyday high street banks that people are customers of, man. And what people are going to find out with soon is that as it's becoming a cashless society and more people are making digital payments with cards or whatever, okay, that first of all, the money is completely under control of these banks and of the government. And ultimately, they can do anything with that. They can put a freeze on it, okay. The currency is pound, that the pound, for example, okay, the fiat currency is being devalued. So what they're just trying to do is what? They're going to push forward their agenda of the C-hip, okay, which is going to have the digital currency, okay? However they decide to do it, whatever they decide to go with, okay? One of the strongest, if not the strongest currency at the moment is what? The pound, okay? But even then, you've got what? The pound has weakened to the point where it's almost side by side with the dollar. Okay, and the dollar is one of what's the reserve currency of the world, one of the biggest widely used currencies in the world, man. So this is just an indication, man, of basically this system coming to a crash, and then people aren't going to be able to access their accounts. Now you saw what happened in Greece, okay, when they had financial woes, and that's all coming to the West, man. That's coming over to America. That's coming over to the UK. They got this thing called a run on the bank, where people in a fit of panic, everyone tries to go to the bank. Now you can't get your deposits out. Okay. So this man's looking to start putting a squeeze on, man. Okay. He's looking to put the squeeze on. And what people are going to do out of desperation, okay, is they're going to start doing things like, because you're not going to be able to access money, or they're not going to be able to access their funds or access resources like food and basic equipment. That's going to lead them to eventually start doing some desperate measures, man. All right. Now let's read one of these desperate measures. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 17. It says, actually, let's start from 15. For the sword, let's start from 14. Salakia. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. Meaning what? People are going to be going at each other. Okay, dog eat dog. Okay, shooting each other up. It's going to be utter mayhem and chaos. Okay? Because of what? Civil unrest. Because all these systems that you see, man, that it's all cogs in the system, and it's all financial based. When you have a change in the financial system, a major change like this, it's going to affect everything. It says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. What's sedition? A sedition is what? Inciting rebellion, a call to rebellion in a sense, man, to come up against the government. And invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. Okay, so you can have your average everyday citizens, now, they so-called follow the guidance of the law, the politicians set what it is, the government. Okay, you got the police forces, okay, law-abiding citizens, if you will, as a whole. But in a time of utter chaos, man, they're not going to be, people are already not regarding it, but it's going to increase even more. They show you that in the movie, it was either The Purge or there was another one, but they basically had I might be mixing the movies up, but the scene was basically a policeman. One guy had he just shot off a gun, or he shot someone in front of the policeman, and he thought, man, what's gonna happen? And the policeman was too worried about his own life, man. He was trying to get some nappies for his children, every man for himself kind of thing. It's gonna get real crazy out here, man. Okay. So a lot of these emergency service people, a lot of these people, the government people, they're gonna be rose up against, man. Okay. It's gonna be utter chaos. You ain't gonna be able to call when things really kick off. Emergency services, that's gonna be inundated. They might just cut that off, man. You don't be able to access all that. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be mayhem. Okay, and that's what the elites want. They want chaos, so they can bring about their new system and bring about their solution to everything. All right. It says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. All right. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Why? Because, we're coming into the time of World War III. Okay. Civil unrest. Okay. It says a man shall be desired to go into a city and shall not be able. What's that talking about? Martial law. Cordoned off areas, restrictions on travel, which we saw glimpses of that in the pandemic. Okay, that was like a test run for what's actually going to come. That's why you still have, you got like over there in America, you had Jade Helm. We can't forget about that, which was what urban military drills, man. All right, why do you think they're doing urban military drills on American soil? That's because they're preparing to deal with those scenarios, okay, with the population over there, and pretty much to, come against the people, man, the civilians. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So it's going to be so crazy out here, okay? Every system is going to be put on a squeeze, man. Financially, okay? Right now, spiritually, okay? There's a major attack everywhere, man. Okay, people are completely disillusioned. Now you got the prophets of the Lord out here speaking the truth. There was an article recently that said, now Britain's meant to be a Christian country. There was an article recently that said that Christianity is pretty much on the minority now. Okay, and one of the biggest things that are trending right now is shamanism. All right. So what a lot of people are doing is they're looking more into, they're either atheists, they don't believe in nothing, or they're looking into more, they're looking into, which this is all pagan anyway. It all comes from pagan roots, even the so-called Christianity that, they believe in. But what they're doing is they're getting as far away from the Bible as possible, man. So there's a spiritual attack going on. There's a financial attack going on. Okay, and there's a military attack going on. And that's all part of the beast system. You got what? You got Washington, D.C., okay, the military arm of the beast. You got London, the city of London, which is the financial capital. Okay, the financial arm of it. And then you got the Vatican over there in Italy, which is the spiritual arm of it, man. Okay? And ultimately, that's all going to be destroyed when Yahushua comes with the angels. But that's the way in which this devil is controlling different aspects of life, man. And the people are going to feel the squeeze. Now, those of us in this knowledge, we know all these things. And that's why we're doing these videos, to warn you and pretty much say, look, don't take the C-hip, okay? Trust in the Yahweh Shemel Shai. And ultimately, what does the scripture say regarding times of instability, which we're going into the time of instability? We're going into the time of what? Jacob's trouble, as it says in Jeremiah, the 30th chapter. Now, a lot of these other camps, these Hebrew Israelite camps, are not teaching that, man. They're not really talking about Jacob's trouble. Okay, they skirt around that subject. But we're warning you that the time that we're going into is crazy. Okay, and we can see the telltale signs of it now. So this is Isaiah 33:6. It says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. Okay, so this knowledge and wisdom is going to be the stability of thy times, man. Okay, we're bracing for impact right now because we've been forewarned. We're what's the word? We have an insight into what's going to happen, man. Back, for lack of a better word, man. And the Lord has basically pre-warned us of what's to come, and that's what we're doing. We're sending out that message to whoever will hear it, which we know that the ones that will hear it are the elect of the nation of Israel, man. Okay, you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and anyone else that descends back to the man called Jacob, scattered abroad, the Israelite foreigners. Only the elect are going to hear this, okay, and be sealed and saved, man. So we're going into heavy times. And, these bank closures are just another example of this, how this society is get ready to shut down. Okay. People in rural areas, their local banks are closed. They're being forced and funneled into this digital system, man, whether they like it or not. So, hey, Lord, wouldn't this have been an edifying, exhortational lesson in the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai Basham Kakadash? With that, man, I'm going to say shalom to the next one. Shalom.